This is Seaclusion. She's a Sunreef 80, and when your yacht is this big, you have to have a professional crew. Her captain is Manu, and she's standing up front. Piloting the boat is somebody you may recognize if you zoom in a little bit, and that's Adam. Adam has a particular set of skills, and while I'm sure they include lots of other things I'm not aware of, they clearly include maneuvering huge yachts inside of tiny little marinas. While the marina itself isn't actually that small, the pillars that are up, that is what is going to make this very tricky. Getting past them with this boat and swinging it around and into place. The first pillar was easy. The next one, however, is going to require some fancy maneuvering using bow thrusters on both sides and both of the engines. You can see Adam using both the port, forward, and aft bow thrusters, but he also uses a combination of the forward bow thrusters along with the independent movement of the engines on the catamaran to kind of pin the front of the boat while he maneuvers the back into position for docking. At this point, he's primarily using the port forward bow thruster to keep the front of the boat from moving any closer to that pillar. A little more assistance from the bow thrusters, and he's moved completely into position in that very, very narrow space. With the lines on the dock, everything from this point in is quite normal. When someone makes something this hard look this easy, that's mastery. So much so that in a few seconds you're going to see the tugboat arriving. That tugboat is pretty much what everybody else would have used. The Miami Boat Show is special to me because it is here several years ago that I decided to purchase my X5. And while I've helped out at this show before, I never helped out with full build-up and tear-down as I'm doing this time. It's just amazing to watch how fast all of this comes together. From the dozens and dozens of boats that just pile in and dock up and set up, to all of the booths and vendors and supplies and equipment that get brought in just a matter of hours. Every time you turn, it seems more stuff just shows up out of nowhere. To include the exquisite X5 Plus that could now come in. And while Seaclusion had a very interesting maneuvering project to do in between the pillars, this X5 is going to squeeze into a spot that is barely wider than the boat itself. It's also a little bit misleading when you see a 53-foot yacht come in and you think that looks small, because the 80-foot yacht is so very big. For every 10-foot difference in a catamaran, it's actually 65% larger. And I wasn't kidding when I said it was a tight fit. The mast camera can be used for docking. I use it all the time myself. In just a few minutes, the boat is all tied down, the sunshades are up, and she's ready to be prepared for the boat show the rest of the week. The Miami show is actually pretty busy, and this footage that you're seeing right now was shot on the last day where the sky just opened and it rained all day long, and still, there were lots of people, but also some downtime to do some video editing. It was also a good time for everybody to let their hair down a little bit and kind of enjoy themselves. We still gave tours, and we spent a lot of time laughing and joking with each other as well. I, on the other hand, found fun inside playing with things like a model of the boat inside of the boat. And I got in trouble a few times because I kept showing people how to use the system and turning all the lights on and off. When I wasn't allowed to touch the panel anymore, then I just showed them how to do it by pulling the fuses out. I got a new camera, and I think I'm using this feature right. I'm just not sure what this feature really should be used for. I prefer to do panning and stuff by hand. I think it looks a lot better. Isn't this beautiful? I actually mean the tools. That just makes my brain happy. It's just, look at that. It's so organized. And I'm pretty sure the plants are real. I'm still conscious about walking around with a selfie stick. I think I'm a bit too old for this crap, but I'm trying to get used to it since I'm trying to do the YouTube thing. I'm more likely to misuse a 360 camera like this, or probably even a little bit more funny by doing stuff like this. This was my attempt at trying to use the 360 camera to do this walking interview with Francois. You may know him from some of my earlier videos or from other YouTube videos where you've seen that he's the naval architect behind things like the 30 Sports Cat and also Ruby Rose 2. But as you can see, I wasn't holding the camera quite correctly on the selfie stick, and the line through the video made it a little bit useless. I also took the time to have some fun, like I went to the Zatara party and got to meet Keith and his family, as well as Chris and his family. I was really glad that Chris talked me into taking this picture, and wow was I surprised at how tall everybody is. The next night, we were off to another party, this one held by Rico and Victoria from Naughty Styles. Now, look at these supermodels. Also, no pictures of Rico, but he took this picture, and he thinks it's as funny as we did. I took that picture. Not as funny. Talking about supermodels, check this out. It's a new sail design by these amazing kids who are all, well, rocket scientists. Tearing down and ending a boat show is generally a little bit faster than setting it up, or at least that's the demands by those who throw the boat show. And as we were getting ready to leave, we noticed that our halyard had gotten all twisted up while it was being used to hoist flags. So Loic got sent up to untwist everything because we're a bunch of very wise sailors, and we realized we're probably going to need that to lift the mainsail. Loic is one of the few people that I know that actually jumps at any chance to be hoisted up to the mast. Don't know what it is, but he likes it up there, and the rest of us will only do it if we have to. Eugene joined Loic and I in taking the boat from Miami to Fort Lauderdale. He actually also stayed with us on our complete trip to Freeport. It's not hard to get extra crew members when you tell them that they're going to get time at the helm, and boy was Eugene excited. And I was excited to try new and different things with the cameras that I brought along, like more time-lapse stuff. I hope you enjoy. Before we could truly say goodbye to Miami and head over to Fort Lauderdale, we needed to stop for fuel, both for the trip to Fort Lauderdale and tomorrow's trip to Freeport. Waiting in line for fuel and then fueling the boat took a little bit longer than we had expected, and our little sister got far, far away from us. Here you can see the 30 Sports Cat is already headed up to Fort Lauderdale, and she is way out there. I'm zoomed in pretty far here in the video, but to give you a better perspective, I'll zoom out a little bit. We couldn't let her win. When you look through the escape hatch and you see that underneath the boat, it can mean only one thing. We're heading into the waves and heading upwind. You might ask yourself, what happens when a whole bunch of beautiful yachts that were just at a boat show all head towards another city together, going upwind into chop? Well, you race, of course. Arrival, Fort Lauderdale. We spent like 8 hours crushing it, going upwind and into the waves. And now for some amazing super warp drive time lapse. Or I'll just make you wait like we did every single time we came to a drawbridge and had to wait again for the next opening. Oh right, our little sister, the 30 Sports Cat. She had to go a bit closer in towards shore than we did due to the waves as we were coming up, and that caused her to lose a bit of her speed and gave us the advantage in passing her. Not by much, she caught us pretty quickly as we were waiting for drawbridges to open, and she followed us in the rest of the way, which was really nice. This was my first time to Fort Lauderdale, and quite frankly, I find it to be extremely beautiful, and going underneath all the bridges is just kind of magical. In the next episode, you'll see as we go back out at night, which is even more beautiful than doing it during the day. For those that know me, you're starting to see that my videos are starting to become more of my personality, which means in future episodes, you're going to start seeing talking animals.
Yes, I will destroy all of this.